Welcome back to Friday Night Arcade. Thank you for stopping by and checking out the channel. Today, we are going to be playing Space Quest from Sierra Games. Insert Buckazoid. Oh, that music is so good. Just gonna let this play for a minute. Indulge me. Yeah, if you could somehow take this music and put it into the original version of the game, I would play that version before playing this version any day. This music is so good. Scott Murphy and Mark Crow, the two guys from Andromeda. They are actually working on a new game right now called Space Venture. For various reasons, they're not directly affiliated with Sierra Games anymore. So they've gone off to create their own software company, basically. I'm not sure how many people are in that team, but they're spearheading it. And it's basically going to be a spiritual successor to the Space Quest series. There have been some delays. I think it's taking them a little time to get it polished up. It's just about done. But definitely check out their Twitter feed. They've been posting updates about it. And you can rest assured we'll definitely be, I'll definitely be checking that out on this channel when it gets to that point. So the way this starts out, you're a janitor on a space cruiser, and the space cruiser has just been taken over by aliens, and the aliens are going around killing everybody. You see one of the droids freaking out. You're startled by the sound of an alarm. Breaking through it, the intercom crackles with the frightened voice of a technician shouting that the Arcadia has been boarded by unknown intruders. The transmission ends abruptly in a soundstorm of white noise, soon overtaken by the cold din of silence.
Destruct sequence is engaged.
You hear the overly cheerful voice of the ship's computer say destruct sequence is engaged. 15 minutes till detonation. So yeah, the game definitely puts you right in the thick of it. You have to find a way to get off the ship before it explodes. And it's a little tricky getting through here. Let's see if I can remember. So I gotta go left. And it gets really tricky too, because if you hear footsteps, you've got to get off the screen as quickly as possible. Because what'll happen is, if you hear footsteps, the door opens. A man you recognize as one of the head lab scientists stumbles into the room. He appears to be in serious need of some Abdo-Seal abdomen filler. Basically, he's dying. After only a few steps, he hits the floor with a disconcerting thud. And he's dead. Actually, he's not. He's only mostly dead. No, he's dead. Let's see. So we use so we've got this interface up here, and I can mouse over these. And in the original version, you actually had to type in commands. You might have to type in, like, you know, explore the dead body or something like that. In this version, we can just use, I think we can use, it's either the hand or the eye. We walk over. Now, one nice thing is in this room, you won't have the issue where you hear the footsteps and have to run out. A large laser hole has burned in his uniform, giving you a nice view of previously unexposed tissue. Struggling painfully, he props himself up on one elbow. I think do this. His lips move. Okay. The star generator is in danger. The Arcadia is under attack. You'd better get off this scow if you value your life, Wilco. Oh, he looks like one of the guys from Planet of the Apes. Just before his systems cease all function short of decay, he looks over toward the shelves full of cartridges and utters astral bodies. With one last gasp, his lifeless form slumps to the floor. Okay, so I think that they did stuff like this as kind of like a means of anti-piracy for these old computer games, because you could just copy them and give them away to people. I mean, there was no real, to my knowledge, there wasn't too much copy protection back then, so I think it was pretty straightforward to copy these discs and give them away. So what he just said there, there's a code buried in that. So I think he said something about astral bodies. So I do have to actually refer to the walkthrough for this, because there's a certain code that you have to use for that, and I'll hold that up. See if I don't know if you can see much of that, but basically what it means, whatever he says, that's the code you have to put into that computer up there. So he said something about astral bodies. Now, if he said something about asteroids, it'd be a different code, or galaxies or gravity. So we have to actually go up here now. It should let us sit down. So here we go. So I think, yeah. So there's the code. So we gotta put this in. So yeah, I think this was kind of their way of anti-piracy, because if you didn't actually have the box and the manual that goes with it, this was actually not the walkthrough, but in the box there would have been somewhere in the manual there would have been this code, and if you didn't have that, you wouldn't be able to proceed in the game. So cartridge found, now retrieving. Okay, so he's going to give us a data cartridge that we're going to use. That's an item that we're going to have to use later in the game. Yeah, so if you didn't have the manual, if you just got this copied from a friend or something, then you wouldn't be able to proceed in the game. You might get lucky and guess, but the odds of finding that are pretty slim. And so, there we go. Okay, so now we can go. And what I'm gonna do, you'll see me do this a lot. I am going to kind of abuse the save system in the game. The game does let you save often, and just in the interest of time, I'm going to try to save as often as I can. It is fun to experiment a little bit and see what kind of ways that you can die. So that is fun. I don't want to skip over that, but at the same time, if you don't save often, you'll have to retrace your steps a lot. So in the interest of time, I'm going to try to do that as best I can. I'm going to try to make it to the elevator here. Hopefully. Haha! Okay. So now I gotta go up here. See, if I'd have still been on that second floor, they would have shot me. These guys are dead as well. I don't think that you get anything from them. Yet another crewman's motionless body reduces the shine of the floor wax. You doesn't look too neat and clean with his lungs hanging out like that. And there's something flashing here. We have to take that. The game will actually let you proceed without taking all of the items off the ship before it blows up. And if that happens, it is possible to get later in the game and need an item and realize you don't have it, and the only way to get it is to start over from the beginning. The programmers were kind of dicks that way, but hey, that's what you had to do in the old days. That's the way these old games worked. So, the lifeless body of Randy, one of the lab technicians, lies sprawled at your feet. These laser blasts are nasty. Why, you can't distinguish one organ... You can't distinguish one exposed organ from another. That's kind of funny. It's kind of morbid. So yeah, the game's got a morbid sense of humor. Okay. Moving on. So... And yeah, you can't do anything when that droid goes by. It's just kind of a... Oh, we gonna make it? We gonna make it? Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna save one more time here. So I'd be curious to know which PC games you played as a kid growing up. If you played any of these Sierra games from this time frame. Did you play Did you play any of the Quest for Glory games? Ooh. This is gonna be close. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Oh, 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 oh! Phew! If you don't make it there, they'll shoot you. Did you play Quest for Glory, Trial by Fire? Did you play Space Quest, King's Quest, any of those games? It blows my mind to think that they actually made a King's Quest game for Nintendo. I think it was King's Quest V. They somehow ported that over to the Nintendo system. Now this part's tricky. There's gonna be, yeah, see, so you hear footsteps. You have to basically hide up here in this corner. Because no matter what you do in this room, the bad guys will walk in. Failing to notice anyone or anything in the room, the Saurian guards decide to check elsewhere. Way to go, Roger! Okay, so you can kind of look around in this room a little bit. On the screen is some green dude you've never seen the likes of. He seems to be talking, but the audio is out in this area of the ship. And then there's some other... I think you can kind of look out the window. The view screens offer a glimpse of the surroundings from outboard cameras. They come in handy during the testing phase of the star generator. And there's a giant keyboard up here as well. Keyboard was used in development of the star generator. So yeah, there's some different stuff kind of around the area. And then if we go over here...
10 minutes till detonation.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Okay. So I think through this window you can see down the pod bay. A pod sits waiting on the launch track. The large bay doors are currently closed. So there is, we do have to actually open those. Let's see, so open bay doors. We're actually going to use that ship to escape from the, there's an escape pod that we're going to use to get off of the ship before it explodes. And we'll go back to walking. Okay. The elevator requires a key card. I'm not sure if I have the key card. Okay, hang on a minute here. Is that this? Like I said, I haven't gone through this game nearly as often, nearly as much as I've gone through the Space Quest 3 and probably Space Quest 4. Hopefully. Phew. Okay. We're doing okay. Okay, so this is the one. So if we search this guy, search Jerry's body and find a key card. Sorry, Jerry. Thanks for your contributions to the cause, buddy. Okay. Now, I think, yep, that's the key card. If I use it here, you slide the key card into the slot. The lock releases with a satisfying click, and the elevator doors slide open. That's good stuff right there. I like that. Alright, now, this part, I actually am going to show you this, just so that you can see this. We're getting ready to go outside of the airlock. Through the doors on the right, that takes us to the airlock where the escape pod is. And now, if you were just playing this for the first time and you didn't know, you'd think you might just go through that door first. So if we go through that door, this goes to the airlock, and we just opened the bay doors in the previous screen. What do you think's gonna happen if we walk into this room? Let's try it. I don't know. So far, so good. And that concludes your experiment on the effects of vacuum on the unprotected human body. Wasn't that fun? Yep. We'll try that again. Okay, so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go up to this closet, and there's a spacesuit in there. Spacesuit hangs in the closet, helmet sits on the top shelf. Okay. Let's take that. Go ahead and put it on. And we'll go ahead, notice some sort of gadget in the drawer. Go ahead and take it. I'm not even completely sure what it was. I think it's this thing. Let's see what we got here. This is some sort of gadget. You're not sure what it does exactly, but it has a switch. Okay. got the key card. We use that. It's a cartridge from Arcada's Data Archive. That's a couple bucks. And the widget. Okay, so we've got everything now, and we can move forward. And I will save it again one more time, just to be on the safe side. Now we can go out this door.
5 minutes till destination.
Or not. Okay. Yes, much safer now. And let's go ahead and get... So here's our escape pod. And this is a little tricky as well. Now you have to put your seatbelt on. Buckle up for safety. If you don't do that, you will die. I'm not gonna... I'm not, in the interest of time, I'm not gonna do that one, but yeah, if you don't buckle up, you will die, so... And... Let's do this one. So that should power us up. And there's... This button is not to be pushed at any time. This is the power button for the escape pod. This is the auto nav button. When operative, it allows the pod to navigate to the closest habitable planet. Okay. And then we can see out the open bay doors that we just opened up. So, let's go ahead and move it forward. As you slide the throttle forward, you can feel the Arcadia start to shake. Okay, so we made it, and now we can, if we push the auto nav button, that's going to take us to the next planet. We've gone to Plaid.